with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is a perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House. In your house. We're back. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And that is exactly what we intend to do here on this Thursday. And yeah, it's a little weird that we're coming to you guys on a Thursday. You guys, you know, it's hard to shake monikers that you've had for a long time. You know, I said Hollywood House. I meant to say the Con Man. I meant to say the concept. But that's all right, though, because we're still working on it. But, guys, we are here, and what we are working on is giving you guys some content for professional wrestling. And, man, it has been a roller coaster of a week for me. And, yeah, just a lot of things going on. I will say this, though. We're going to get it rocking and rolling, but this episode of In Your House is dedicated to the memory of my father-in-law, Michael Hill, who just recently passed away. And we're going to make it a real good one for him. And, man, when I say I'm going to make it a real good one, that means I got to get some great help to help me carry the load of this episode. And I got some great help with me here, as I got my man here, my co-host here on the show. That is The Voice, Josh Joseph, coming and joining me on this Thursday afternoon. How's it going, bro?
Hey, it's going great. I'm just happy to be here hanging out with you, House, doing what we do here in the household. Absolutely love wrestling and all the things coming up. We got a big pay-per-view coming up that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. And there's a lot of good talks coming out of wrestling this week. So I can't wait to get into it and make it a movie, man.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're going to do, is make this a movie, talk a little wrestling. And you was talking about an event that's coming up this week, and that event is WWE Backlash, as that's going to be in France. WWE is really getting heavy with these international shows, and I really love to see it. I love to see the WWE traveling around and things of that nature. We're definitely going to talk about Backlash, because I still rave about last year's Backlash in Puerto Rico. That was incredibly good. That crowd was incredibly good. It was a crowd that you can tell hadn't had wrestling in there in a very long time, and boy, did they show out, man. So this year should be very exciting as they travel over to France.
They do, and I seen on the old X that there's been a sighting of a certain John Cena. So
what do you mean you can't see? You can't see him, man. What are you talking about?
Someone seen him. It was reported. They were like, "Hey, we have seen John Cena."
How? That's impossible.
The French have been known to, jump over the impossible, man.
I guess so, man. So who knows what's going to happen? And we're definitely going to preview this show, because there's definitely some matches on this card that I'm definitely interested in. But before we jump into that, because that's definitely going to be the meat of this great episode with my man Voice here, I want to talk a little bit about the ending of Dynamite last night. That's AEW Dynamite. I didn't get a chance to check everything out, but I did see that Kenny Omega was back on my screen again as I was scrolling through, like you said, the old infamous X, and I saw his face, and I'm like, ooh, he's back. So can you kind of detail his return there as it happened there at the end of Dynamite?
Well, I mean, he obviously came back. He acknowledged the fans, and then well, Jack Perry came out, and him and I believe it's Okada. I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
And the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks came out after Perry threw Omega onto the chair, which with the diverticulitis. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
It's a crazy word, man. That's a long word.
It is.
It was that Brock Lesnar had it. That was the first time
Yeah.
I'd ever heard of that disease. But now Kenny Omega has had it, and he's trying to get back. So that's why I was surprised to see him back, because diverticulitis can really take you out, man.
Yeah, well, they kept talking, Taz and Tony, about the fact that really, if it's so far advanced that any massive blow to his intestines can rupture like
Yeah,
easily. And the spot they did was they basically threw him onto his gut on top of the chair, which laid into the allure. You could believe into it because I mean he does have it. It's not a fake sickness he has,
yeah,
but
yeah. It's real.
then he ends up going out, or the Young Bucks come out, and it looks like they're going to save him. They tell him, they love him, do the thing, beat him up. He gets put out there on the stretcher, going back to the stretcher. He's going back. This is FTR came out. They helped Omega. Then they're in the back, and FTR is trying to make sure Kenny can get put in the ambulance. Young Bucks are back there. Boom, they attack him again. They knock him off the stretcher. Both tell Kenny Omega that they love him. This isn't personal. It's just business. And then we find out that it's a ironclad contract that the Young Bucks have. They're in this as it goes. There is no possible way the Young Bucks can be fired.
Yeah, I saw that. It was at the beginning of the show. Tony Khan was saying that he couldn't travel because of his neck injury, and he was in the offices in Jacksonville. And then everything kind of glitched out, and then it ended up being the Young Bucks. And I got to tell you, man, I totally understand the thing of being a heel. Like, I get it. Man, I don't know why, but Matthew Jackson's smug face and his voice, I just want to punch him in the face, and I guess that means it's working, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's the silver lining in the clouds you could take away from that. It is working.
Yeah, man. So, like, if this is the avenue they're going to go, more power to him. I just think they gotta be careful, because like it's if they cannot be fired, if they can't be put out of power, Kenny Omega still has power, of course, and we know that. And then of course Tony Khan owns the company, and you got scapegoat Jack Perry, who of course is hanging around with the Elite. I guess he's part of the Elite. Elite is even in the doggone promotion's name, so it's AEW. And I'm just saying they gotta be careful, because this can get to NWO levels of ridiculous if they take it too far.
Very true. And I just hope that some of maybe the writers backstage realize that, and we're going to get a swerve coming up. It would be nice if we see a different take. I mean, we've seen this over and over again in different promotions. You brought up NWO and things like that, and which I can see that, because I mean, look at all the factions you got. And then every week you got a new guy that's in the faction that like, oh, okay, well, I guess they are part of the Bullet Club Silver with a hint of gold going through it. Okay, yeah, that Bullet Club. Yeah. So, I mean, it is fun, though. I do miss those times where it was crazy. You had the Four Horsemen, you had NWO, you had LWO, you had all these guys, trying to get some type of fame, some type of TV time. Yeah. So it does make it interesting, but I would like a different take on this avenue.
Yeah, man, and like I love stables. I honestly love the current atmosphere, the current landscape of professional wrestling right now, where we have so many factions, because I feel that realism in it, where it's like you're in those locker rooms and like you can be in that locker room by yourself, but it's like, I know I've said this on this show before, that it's like, it's kind of like, that prison mentality. You don't want to be in prison by yourself. You want to have a gang with you. You want to have a clique with you. And you're kind of seeing the same thing in professional wrestling, whether it be the Pride, whether it be the Final Testament, whether it be the Judgment Day, whether it be Bullet Club Gold, whether it be the Elite, whether it be the House of Black, whether it be Shane Taylor Promotions, there's so many different factions. I can keep naming factions, Alpha Academy, Chase U, The Family, and NXT. I could keep going, but I don't have to, because my point has been made, is that factions have been trickled across the DNA of professional wrestling, and I love it. My concern is that the Elite is going to take over so much of AEW that you're going to have a whole bunch of, like you said, new Elite members, and then boom, before we know it, half the roster is part of the Elite, and they're going to be completely unstoppable.
You're not that elite if half your roster is part of the Elite. That's kind of going to be a hard one to pass off. But again, hopefully they have some writers back there who are thinking like this, thinking outside the box. They can do something different. Only time can tell with this one. There's also different ways you can make Jack Perry look menacing and actually like troublesome without giving him a deeper voice, a beard, and black clothing. Like they're like, let's make a villain.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I guess it still hasn't clicked with me with Jack Perry yet. Like of course I remember. I obviously vividly remember his run as Jungle Boy. And here's the thing: the guy can work. Like, oh yeah, he can wrestle his ass off. But like, I'm trying to figure out why I should care about him. Like, it's not, I can see it right around the corner. Like when they did the CM Punk video reveal, I was like, I don't know about this. This is like, I didn't like anything about that. But I see that they're trying to build Jack Perry as this actual scapegoat. And now he's kind of just getting, dragged along with the Elite, and we're going to see where that goes. But he definitely has got that smarmy type vibe to him, and it goes well with the Jacksons, because the Jacksons are definitely getting in their bag as far as being heels. But once again, you just got to be careful with how far that you take it. And it's going to be crazy now because they've appointed Christian, everybody's daddy. Christian is now going to be going up against Swerve Strickland. That's going to be his first opponent as AEW champion, AEW World Heavyweight Champion, that is. And I just want to make sure, like I want what's best for AEW. I just want to make sure they don't step on their own toes and kill themselves trying to think outside the box and be edgy, because like there's definitely a lane that you can stay in where you're being different without like kind of trying to go outside of what wrestling is supposed to be, Yeah.
I do enjoy that. The idea of Christian going after Swerve. I like that idea. I don't know if you've seen the segment that happened in ring or anything.
I didn't. I didn't.
Apparently, Swerve almost got one of his dreads ripped out of his head during the altercation.
I've been there. I've been there, done that.
I couldn't imagine. I've had a couple strands of hair come out at once. I could not imagine a dread. Oh, that just seems so painful.
Oh man, you know what? When it's happened to me a couple times when I was managing. And like, I didn't even realize it was out until it was already in my hand. I was like, oh hell. So, I don't know if it's different with him or whatnot, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward as we push into AEW and what's going on. They got Double or Nothing that's coming up right around the corner. And we'll probably talk more about Double or Nothing as it gets closer to the time. I want to talk a little bit about the company up north in Stamford, Connecticut. And of course, that's the WWE, as we talked about a little bit earlier, Voice. They are going to France. I think a lot of talents already in France have already traveled and made it to France to get there. And now we're going to have this Backlash show. And man, I got to tell you, it's a pretty decent card. I think that I don't want to say it's going to be one of those shows where, you know, not anything really exciting happens, because I don't fully believe that, like, well, first off, I don't expect a whole lot of title changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect a whole lot of title changes, but the card from what I see here is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They're going to be going up against the Bloodline. That consists of Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. We're going to have a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The Kabuki Warriors, of course, that is Asuka and Kairi Sane going up against two of the big three, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So they'll be going for those championships. We're going to have a WWE Women's Championship match, a triple threat there, voice. Bayley versus Naomi versus the red hot Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, baby, and she's going to have an opportunity to compete for the Women's Championship. And then we have a World Heavyweight Championship match between new champion Damian Priest of the Judgment Day and main event Jey Uso. And then we have the Undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends against AJ Styles, his first challenger for that championship. Pretty solid card there, voice. But we'll start it at Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodlines, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. What do you see coming out of that match?
A big, hard-hitting match. All four of those guys in there love to entertain, love to give big, loud pops to the crowd and get them all energized. So I kind of see this building up for the Bloodline to win.
Yeah.
Only because I think it would benefit them more than... I honestly don't think it would hurt a tag team of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton if they lost, especially to two members like that of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So honestly, I really think this would be the time that they're going to push and try to show the power of the Bloodline. And this is like the new Bloodline, right? Like this seems to be the family tree portion of it, the going out of what we've come accustomed to with the Bloodline. So honestly, with all of this happening and the newer members coming in, I could honestly see a reunion with the Usos. I could see a lot of things sprouting from this just because it kind of gives you a bigger playground to have more things happen throughout the coming up stories. And so, honestly, it's going to be a great match. These four men are phenoms when it comes to being in a ring. I know some people aren't familiar with, is it Tonga?
Tama Tonga, yeah.
Yeah, Tonga. I've seen him on a couple different things throughout the indies. He's just like his family. So, you can't, he's going to give you some amazing action. He's going to show you some power. He's going to show you exactly where his heritage, his bloodline comes from. So, expect great things out of this one. It's going to be a banger.
Absolutely. Of course, Tama Tonga is in the family. He's the nephew of Haku, and Haku was no joke in the ring. We all know that. No joke.
Or outside of the ring.
Yeah. He's not somebody that you want to meet in the dark alley and piss off. And Tama Tonga, his time predominantly with New Japan Pro Wrestling as a part of the Bullet Club. And, he's done so much in his career as a part of the tag team, the Gorillas of Destiny, and they've won the IWGP Tag Team Championships 7 times. They've also been Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. He's held the Never Openweight Championship 4 times, and he's held the CMLL World Tag Team Championships twice, and of course just made his debut. So it's easy for me to say that I feel like the Bloodline is going to come out of this winning, because I don't feel like that Tama Tonga's debut match is going to be him losing. But I'm going to throw something else in the ring here. I believe that the Bloodline will win, but I believe that they'll win because of interference from a debuting Jacob Fatu.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like it. I like it. That now, if you want to get an impact, that's something to do, especially for this match,
Oh yeah.
because you got two guys in there who are gonna make you believe what Fatu can do, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to that if that happens. Did you get a little message from somebody at WWE?
No, I can't give away that information, man. Not on
Understand?
the pod. Well, talk to me off air, man.
We'll do. Making notes of it.
Yes,
Now
man.
it's gonna be a good one though.
It really is. I think that match is going to be good. I truly do feel like we're going to see a lot of Tama Tonga on display because he hasn't had a debut match yet. So I feel like they're going to give him a significant amount of time in the ring to let off what he can do, let people see what he can do and the ability that Tama Tonga has. But at the end of it, I truly do believe that we could see Jacob Fatu debut and we see this new incarnation of the bloodline come together as a trio. I do see down the line, I think I've said it on this show before, or maybe it was in the group chat, I can't really remember, but I could see a heel bloodline faction and a babyface bloodline faction where we've already seen Jimmy Uso get assaulted by Tama Tonga and by Solo Sikoa. We haven't seen him since then. Jey Uso's doing his own thing on Monday Night Raw, and we know that Roman is off TV for the foreseeable future as per Paul Heyman, who said he took himself out of the draft for that very reason, because he won't be back very soon. But I could definitely see those three at some point coming back together and combating the new bloodline that will consist of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu, and maybe that can culminate at maybe like SummerSlam or something like that, a big 6-man, or maybe even Survivor Series War Games. That'd be amazing. That'd be great to see something like that. See those 6 men go up against each other. But right now, I can definitely see this new bloodline taking over SmackDown until those other members of the first bloodline return, and then we'll see that confrontation down the line. But yeah, I think we're both on the same page that we both feel like Bloodline is going to win this match, and they'll come out on top. I don't see any reason Randy Orton and Kevin Owens win this. I mean, they're not an established tag team, and I know they've been kind of doing the RKO show and working out together and you know tagging together and stuff, and that's all great and everything. Don't see that happening long term. Don't see a reason for them to pick up a W when you're trying to not only build this new bloodline but let people know who exactly Tama Tonga is. So I do feel like that's the right path. But we'll move on to this next match here that is coming up. In the next match on this list here is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. The Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka, going up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. What do you think, man?
Honestly, I could see the titles changing on this one, only because I watched a house show clip of Jade in the ring with Belair, and Belair comes running in. Jade gives her this maneuver, throws her on top of Kairi, and it was counted 1, 2, 3. And I know it's a house show, and I know all that, but don't they test out theories at the house show?
They do. That's 100% true. Oh yeah.
So there was a huge pop, and Jade looked phenomenal doing this move with Bianca. If I'll find it after the show and send it to you, but this is the match I could see if we get a title change for Backlash. This would be it. And I don't want the Kabuki Warriors to lose. I like the story going on there. I don't think we should end it so quickly, but if we are going to, I would love for it to go into these two women's hands and just let them run. Let them see what this mega power tag team can do. And I'm here for it. I really want to see this. I like Jade. I like Bianca. I like Asuka and Kyrie. I think we really are looking at a special landscape for this year with the women's division, something that, has been brought up in your house multiple times, that there should be a only women's Raw one of these nights,
Yeah.
or SmackDown. It would be, you have the ability to do it right now. Why not do it?
Oh,
It
yeah.
would be fun. It would be exciting. Let the men cut their promos. That would be a fun time. Let a man's promo night.
Yeah, man.
Just have a woman show, and I think it would be amazing. And this one is going to be really good. Jade seems to be taking well and learning. From what I'm seeing at house shows, people getting video of her. So there's a good high expectation from this tag team, and but Asuka's got to lose, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
I love Asuka.
I love Asuka too, man. I've been a fan of Asuka for a long time, but I do feel like it might be time for those titles to change hands, and they're going to be there in France. And let's face it, there's 2 other title matches that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, or well, 3 to be honest. 3. I'm sorry, 3. There's 3 other title matches that we're going to talk about, and we're definitely going to get to those. But I don't feel like those other 3 title matches are really gonna things are going to be super different for them. And basically what I'm saying is they're going to go to France. I do feel like that I honestly do feel like they should get at least 1 title change, and I think that this right here is the title that changes. We get Asuka and Kairi Sane. They're going to be relegated to Raw because that's where Damage Control was drafted, Monday Night Raw. And then I think we're going to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill appear on both shows, as per the rules made by WWE that the Women's Tag Team Champions can travel across both shows, and they're the only champions that can do that. But yeah, I do feel like that we're going to see a lot of Jade and a lot of Bianca on our TV in the upcoming future. And I feel like that putting the tag titles on them right now is a good way of getting them that exposure, and I think it's a good move. I think it's the right move. And as you said, Jade Cargill seems to be taking everything very well and moving forward and doing a really good job of taking to the WWE way. And I think this is what she signed for. She knows her worth. She knows that she has an incredible look. She knows that she's incredibly marketable. She knows that she can be a superstar. And honestly, no disrespect to AEW. I know a lot of fans think that we just crap on AEW. It's not that. It's definitely not that. But I think she just realized that if she was going to tap into that mainstream appeal, if she was going to tap into that, marketability, it's WWE, man. It's WWE. They're the ones that are going to push her into the forefront and get her those mainstream deals and mainstream collaborations that's going to help catapult her into a bigger star. So yeah, man, I wouldn't be upset to see the Kabuki Warriors retain. I would just be confused because I feel like they set this matchup just specifically to put those titles on Belair and Cargill.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I mean, honestly, why not? It would be best for business. And I know the guy at the wheel, he said that for years. What's best for business? Putting the title on those 2 would be what's best for business, because you have Jade and Bianca. Then you have her, like you said, Monday Night Raw. You have them on SmackDown. So they're interchangeable. And I believe, can they go to NXT also, or is that completely off the table because
I don't think that's off the table, man. I think they can go to NXT too.
I mean, wouldn't you lose your stuff if you say in the chat, "Hey, they're on NXT"?
Yeah, man, I tune right in.
Yeah, so it's what's best for business. Let's do it. Let's make them the champs, and let's keep the feud with Asuka and Kairi going against these 2, because I think we're going to find a really good gem in Backlash with this match.
Yeah, I really do. I think pretty much like I said about Tama Tonga, we're going to see Jade put on display. We're going to see her be able to show everything that she can do. And I think it's going to be a good, I really do feel like that with this event, with this Backlash event, it's going to be a good chance to see talents that maybe weren't being pushed before as we were approaching WrestleMania. And that happens frequently when you're so hot and heavy into WrestleMania and you're trying to, like, perfect example, Chad Gable kind of had to fall back a little bit as we were on the road to WrestleMania, as we moved forward to WrestleMania, and the role that he had to play was training Sami Zayn. Train Sami Zayn for this match against Gunther. He fell back. He took that. Now, Voice, we're now past Mania, and now we're seeing this completely new Chad Gable. We're seeing it come full circle now, because they're like, okay, we just need you to fall back until after WrestleMania. Then after WrestleMania, we will present you in this new light. And I think that's going to be the case for a lot of talents, such as names like Tama Tonga, names like Jade Cargill, names like Tiffany Stratton, who we're just about to get to. I think that it is a good opportunity to give these new faces an opportunity to be on a PLE, on an international PLE. I think that that they're moving in the right direction. I think that on paper, you're like, this show might not really move the needle like that, the titles aren't going to change hands. It's just, okay, I hear you guys out there, and a part of that is right. You're not wrong. But within the confines of this card is a lot of talent that we're possibly going to see break out.
Yeah, you're not lying on that one. I mean, you laid it up perfectly. You have Chad Gable, who just trusts the process. They said exactly to him, you got to cool off before WrestleMania, road WrestleMania. It's a little cool off. He had a great match before they jumped to the road of WrestleMania, which kind of kept the fire lit with the fans, and then putting him in there with Sami Zayn, training him to go against Gunther. I mean, come on. You're training him to go up against one of the monsters of the WWE, and now Gable's having his time. He's getting his opportunity to show the fans what we already know at In Your House with Chad Gable. And now we get to see it at a bigger level, a bigger stage. So This is good. Just young talent, trust the process if the promotion is good. If it's not good, don't trust the process.
Right, man. Right. And honestly, I feel like morale has really flipped at the WWE. I think there's a lot of people that trust that that Triple H is going to do right by them. I truly do. You see it a lot. You've seen it a lot in the past where guys are like, I didn't trust Vince McMahon with my creative. He didn't know what to do with me. He didn't see my vision. But now you have Triple H, who, let's face it, a lot of these bigger names that are on the main roster right now and have came out of NXT just in the last 5 or 6 years, even further than that, they've all been heavily influenced by Triple H and NXT. Because when Vince was like, I'm gonna take care of Raw. Raw's my baby. SmackDown, I kind of am gonna watch that, but mainly Monday Night Raw. Paul, why don't you go to NXT? I don't give a shit about NXT. Why don't you go there and see what they're doing? And guess what? Triple H took NXT and turned it into something beautiful. And now those talents that trusted him in NXT are now on the main roster thriving. And guess who they answer to? The same guy they answered to at NXT, Paul Levesque, Triple H. This is a great time here in the WWE because you have somebody who's trustworthy with your creative. I think Triple H is doing a good job. And I think he's doing a great job with talents like Tiffany Stratton. And that's going to move us on to our next match, which is the WWE Women's Championship match, where Bayley, the new champion Bayley, defends against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. I gotta tell you, this match definitely has banger potential, but what do you think's gonna happen in this match, bro?
Oh, I'm going to say off the top, Bayley's going to walk out the champion.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, Naomi's going to have what you were speaking about, a breakout moment. She's going to have a great moment in this match. And I believe her and Stratton might be the hidden gems of Backlash when it comes to this one. I'm going to say it right now. I think this will be match of the night.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to say it. Bayley is on a different level this title run. So everybody just strap in, get ready to watch what's about to happen with the evolution of Bayley. Naomi's back, and she's just Naomi. And I was
going to say, Naomi's being good. She's just good,
Yeah. I mean, just like she went away, people realized what was missing when she was gone. You got to see her over in TNA, but she got to evolve over there, and she got to become the beast that she is and that we all knew she could be. Yeah. And the fact that she's going to be here, she's going to be highlighted, she's going to be a part of a title chase. I'm excited for it. Tiffany Stratton, she's newer to me, but there's not much I don't like about what she can do in a ring. Yeah. She's very entertaining as a character. She knows her craft. So this match, again, I'm going to say it's going to be match of the night.
It's hard to argue with that, honestly, when you think of great talents such as Bayley, who, like you said, is operating on a completely different level right now. I mean, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Years ago, when I was watching Hugger Bayley, I never thought in a million years that she can evolve into what she's evolved into. And boy, was I glad to be wrong about that, because seeing her is absolutely incredible. Seeing her evolution has been incredible. I've really enjoyed seeing it through the years. Man, of course, Naomi. I can't speak good enough about Naomi, because here's the thing. I know I've said this on the show, but I'll say it to you guys out there in the household. And of course, my man Voice here, I'll say it again. Man, there's a lot of people who leave WWE and go to the indies, and they jump from indie promotion to indie promotion every weekend, and there is nothing wrong with that. I am not bashing that. If you're a journeyman, be a journeyman. Go to as many different promotions. Go and get yourself out there as much as you possibly can. But I just feel like, Voice, that there's something to be said about when Naomi left the WWE, and she did not do anything for a while until she ended up in TNA. And she stayed with TNA for the entirety of her independent run until WWE picked her back up. I don't know, man. It's just to have that brand loyalty on the indies, especially on her level, when I'm sure she had a million offers getting thrown at her. A million offers. But to have that brand loyalty to TNA through her indie stint until WWE gave her the call back, I don't know, man. I just feel like that speaks to her loyalty to a brand, her presence in a locker room. I'm sure she's amazing in the locker room. I just feel like that there was something different about that, something very cool about the fact that she left and stayed with TNA for as long as she did before she got the call back up. And then, of course, Tiffany Stratton, who's one of the fastest rising stars in WWE today. Charisma is on point. Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time, man. And she definitely has the Barbie good looks. She has the incredible gymnastics background. And she just took to professional wrestling like a fish in water, man. I mean, she just took to it, man. So, like, with those elements, those three women that we just talked about, I do agree with you and feel like Bayley is going to come out retaining. But, dude, this match is definitely going to be incredible. And I definitely see why you are calling this one your match of the night.
Fans, that's exactly why they call him the concept, because he just laid out exactly what Naomi did after her leaving of the WWE. And you're right, she had so many things thrown at her. She did. Oh, yeah. And for her to just work on herself and then get to a point to where she can take what she's crafting and make it as good, if not more desirable when she was in the WWE, because she took the element of her being on every single promotion in the indie network. So she made herself a valuable commodity out there. And then when she did go to TNA, it was explosive. Everybody was talking about it. And now she's back home doing exactly what she's supposed to do. So congratulations to her. And man, I just love the way you round things out, Howse. And you lay it out in front of us. I just love it, man. It's so easy to digest, you know?
I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. That's what we do here at In Your House, man. Is we break things down, we talk wrestling, we have fun with it, we throw out some theories. It's just a fun time, and that's what I want to promote and have when we have shows like this. Like even today, like we were just like, hey, let's do a show, and like we just did it, you know. And so far it's been a really great show, and I hope you guys out there in the household are enjoying that. We're about to get to the 2 big championship matches, but before I do that, I just want to thank you guys real quick for making us a 5-star podcast on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it. And guys, we are everywhere that you can find content on. I mean, we're live on X, we're live on IG, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, Facebook Live. I mean, wherever you can get your content, we are there. And then, of course, later on, the podcast version will be available. That's, of course, going to be on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and anywhere you get your podcast at any major podcasting platforms. Guess what? In Your House is there, and we do appreciate you guys for following us, giving us 5 stars. Please make sure you guys do that. It really helps out this show if you guys give us 5 stars, leave a review on Apple, leave a review on Spotify. It all helps out, guys, so we do appreciate it. But me and Voice are going to get back to work here because we got 2 championship matches to talk about here. And man, with these 2 championship matches, man, you said that the women's triple threat match is your match of the night, and I see why you say that, but man, it has got some stiff competition when you put out something like the World Heavyweight Championship match is going to be Damian Priest versus main event Jey Uso, man. What are you thinking about that match?
Oof. That's gonna be my hardest one to talk about, because Damian Priest, he's got that title, and I'm super stoked about it because it's a long awaited time for him to achieve this mountain. And I'm so stoked for this dude. He has worked his butt off. You've heard me say it before, household. I wasn't a big Damian Priest fan at the beginning when he came to the main roster. I was like, another big guy, okay. Mm-hmm. But then he grew on me. And then when he joined Judgment Day, and then he got Money in the Bank, he was senior Money in the Bank. And then, like, just the evolution of Damian Priest has really got me captivated. But he's going up against an Uso, man. I have a soft spot for both those brothers, man. Yeah. Those guys, Jimmy and Jay, are the pinnacle of the Attitude Era and what came after the Attitude, blended into 2 human beings that put on fantastic shows and just bring a light to the WWE. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a great match. I think it's going to be high impact. There's going to be a lot of off the ropes, top ropes maneuvers. There's going to be a lot of throwing people around. But Damian Priest walks away with this because I don't want to see him lose it yet. I love this title run with him. The WWE struck gold. And another guy who sat back and trusted the process, just like you talked about, Howse. He trusted the process, and now look at him. He was a highlight in WrestleMania. That's a dream that any of us have had. And it's just fantastic to see a young talent like that really push through and show the crowd of WWE what he can do. So I'm going Damian Priest on this one, but a spectacular show.
Oh, yeah. I believe that this match is going to be really good, man. And, you know, I think back at it and I'm like, man, you was talking about the mixture of the Usos and how you said they have that Attitude Era feel and a little bit of that Ruthless Aggression feel as well, which was post Attitude Era. And I looked it up and I'm like, so that got me thinking, when did the Usos debut? And I looked it up, and their main roster debut and first feud was in May 24th of 2010, when they came out and assaulted the unified WWE Tag Team Champions, the Hart Dynasty. At the time, it was Tyson Kidd, D.H. Smith, David Hart Smith, and Natalya, and they were paired up with Tamina as a trio. And yeah, man, 2010. So, like, taking it all the way back there and to see what they become. I mean, my God, it's just crazy to see, because 2010, dog, that was like 14 years ago. And look at all these historic tag team championship reigns later. And then Jey Uso has just been on a disgusting 4-year run of being what he's been known as, Main Event Jey Uso. They don't call him that for no reason. That is absolutely an earned nickname, because for 4 years, with the exception of the match with his brother at this past year's WrestleMania 40, and we've already talked about that, so we're not going to dig deep into that. But really, besides stuff like that, like, it has been just incredible match after incredible match after incredible match, incredible story after incredible story after incredible story. So, like, Jey Uso, love that guy. But Damian Priest is somebody who we've also seen the growth of. I hearken back to his days in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez and the work that he's done in the Indies. And now to see him sign when he signed with WWE, and I was kind of with you, man. I was like, he's got good size, a good look, but I don't see it. I'm not saying that he couldn't get to this point. I'm just saying at that time I was like, oh, all right, here, another big guy who can't talk or doesn't have a personality. Okay, I'm not going to care about you. But I was wrong, because the development has been very, very pure with Damian Priest from his time as the Archer of Infamy and being the NXT North American champion, and also being a former United States champion. And those were all great feats that he had. But like you said, when he joined the Judgment Day with Edge, everything kind of changed, because it had that dark feel. And let's face it, people call Damian Priest Zesty Undertaker for a reason, because he definitely, like, he gives me those dark type vibes of, he's like a Hispanic Undertaker for sure. The big guy who, he's got the eyeliner, the black eyeliner, wears all black, kind of seems like he listens to a lot of, emo music and whatnot. And, and that's his vibe, and that's cool. I like it. And so when you integrate him with somebody like Rhea Ripley, who already embraces like that punk rock type look, and then Finn Balor, who they've all been friends for a while anyway, and Finn Balor has always encapsulated that darkness, whether it be his time as the leader of the Bullet Club, or whether it be him being the Demon, or whatever have you, he's always encapsulated darkness. So when they put them together, and then you bring Dirty Dom in to kind of protect him and whatnot, like, it's most definitely a thing where it's like, hey, this guy is developing at such a way that it's like, I'm enjoying his character development. I'm enjoying watching his rise. I literally just said this with Bailey, is that I did not think that Damian Priest had it in him to develop like that. And here's the thing. I want to say this too. I don't think that all this stuff would have been their fault, because look at the history before Paul Levesque, and look at the history of creative and how bad it was. So that's what I was going to say. Yes, you can take an incredible talent and have Vince McMahon completely ruin them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to see this great development, bro. That's my point. Yeah. I'm so happy to see it. But I'm with you, man. Damian Priest, as we see in the chat there, our guy Hype is producing the show. He said the household loves DP. Hey, man, we're talking Damian Priest, all right? We don't kink shame around here.
Yeah.
We're not kink shaming. We're talking Damian Priest. But
come on, clean it up, household.
But yeah, man, I say Damian Priest, man. I think it's way too early for him to lose this title, bro.
Yeah. It just makes sense, and plus he's main event. He's gonna go on this. If he loses this, it's not gonna affect him because we're all still gonna be on his train. So, come on. Let's just give Damian his. It's gonna be a great match, like I said. But Damian Priest walks out because that's what he is, and like you said, him coming in, like we both talked about, we weren't too sure on him because it was in the McMahon era. And we've seen time and time again what he does to characters. Yeah, he'll give you money, have you come in, but then all of a sudden it may not have worked out for you, and the creative was lackluster back then when it come to a big guy. But you put all those recipes together like you had, boom, amazing time for Damian Priest.
Yeah, man. I mean, case in point, I want to bring up somebody who I've been a fan of for a long time, Dijak. Back in Ring of Honor, he was Dominik Dijakovic. And this is a guy who's quite tall. If you haven't seen Dijak, he's quite a large man. And honestly, he's nimble as hell, bro. I mean, the things that Dijak can do at his size is just absolutely ridiculous, honestly. I mean, he's a great talent. He's somebody who's been around for a while. 30, he's around our age, about 37 years old as I'm looking at it here. 6'7". This is not a small man, 6'7", and he can fly around that ring and get around that ring with the best of them. Why was this giant? Why was this incredible wrestler freaking T-Bar in Retribution? T-Bar with the stupid mask and a dumb gimmick and you got just stupid stuff, man. I mean, like, what was the other guy's name? Was it Mace or something like that, or
some ridiculous?
It's just something stupid. It's like, what was it? Slap nuts or something like that, or slapjack or something. I don't know. It's just dumb
slap
stuff.
Nuts with Jarrett.
Yes, man. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett. Taking it back to Jeff Jarrett, but just dumb. Like, why would you have somebody like that do such a stupid, ridiculous gimmick?
Yeah.
But now that's not something that we really have to worry about much these days, and I'm happy to see it. I do believe Damian Priest will come out of it, but man, that's going to bring us to our last match here, and man, this definitely has heavy banger potential. And that's Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE Championship against his first opponent. And that's going to be AJ Styles, man. What are you thinking about this match?
Well, I am huge with AJ Styles. I absolutely love all of what he's done in his career. I'm really annoyed with this, though, because to me, you could have built the AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes feud better. Yeah. You could have made it more, because I mean, we've seen what AJ Styles can do when you give him time to develop a storyline and things like that. And it seems like that AJ Styles we had going into WrestleMania, I don't know, it might just be me, but it seems like it's kind of like mellowing out, and we're not getting that same intensity and the same drive. Yeah. It might just be me, but I mean, I'm predicting Cody Rhodes. Why you wouldn't take away lightning from somebody who has lightning in a bottle, right now. And I mean, Cody Rhodes right now is their moneymaker. He is their guy everybody wants to see. There's not a morning I don't wake up and the first thing I see is Cody Rhodes is given somebody who contacted him, and now they got seats at the show, and he comes and does like the dude's just, he's seen a 2.0 when it comes to the relations to the fans.
Oh yeah.
And that's not a bad bad thing to be. And I'm not trying to dig on Cena at all, because I mean, no matter my feelings towards his wrestling,
Yeah.
The way he handles himself as a professional and the things he's done for the organization that we love so much, you cannot knock him for that. And it seems like Cody is taking that road. I mean, his dad was a huge person to be fan favored and to be engaged with the fans. I mean, Dusty Rhodes, the American dream. I mean, come on.
Yeah, man.
You can't think of that dude without smiling and seeing him. I mean, every time I think Dusty Rhodes, I think of him giving the elbow to Carino right in the middle of the ring. And then you find out that that particular moment was what that family needed at that time because of the payoff for it. And he didn't. So Cody, you're going to walk away with the belt. We know that. But I hope this builds into more of a, maybe AJ takes this, and then the old AJ that we were seeing from going into WrestleMania reappears, and he can go further with that. I know they're still keeping the gimmick with him going, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in the feeling towards AJ on this one, but it just feels very lackluster right now. It's him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. Honestly, feels a little rushed, this match. I mean, like, when you have I think the match is gonna be good. I do.
Oh yeah.
But when you have these two elements, like, I'm not even sure. And anybody who's there in the chat, because we have some people following us on X, and we got some on Twitch and stuff like that. So correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't even think they brought up the fact that both of these guys at some point were former Bullet Club leaders. So, like, like, that's a talking point right there, and it just feels like it's like, oh, like when I see Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, I'm like, oh shoot, that's a match right there. Like,
exactly.
That's incredible. But like the way but because of the lack of build, it's just like, it's like, it doesn't. It's like the match itself is going to get you at least a 7 or an 8. But if they would have built it a little bit more, and I know they like didn't have, because it's like, we just had a WrestleMania, now boom, it's already Backlash. So I kind of get that. So I'm not bashing them for that. I'm just saying, like, it feels like it feels rushed. It feels rushed for these two guys, and like, it could have been like, maybe you save AJ for like Money in the Bank, maybe, or something. Like, I don't know. And, you know, maybe AJ's fine with this role, because he's had his WWE Championship runs. He's had his tag title runs. He's done this and that. He was Undertaker's final match. I mean, he's done some things in the WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely done some things. But it's like, it feels like they're putting him in a situation where it's just kind of like, hey, you know, we're going to use you as like, I don't want to say like a Dolph Ziggler type, but like, you're going to be that guy that's credible, that can look like he could win the match, but you're going to most definitely lose, you know? Yeah. So like, I see Cody coming out of this one. You know, and if the circumstances would have been different, I probably would have called this one my match of the night. And who knows, it might still end up being my match of the night by the time the show comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? But like, as of right now, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think the triple threat women's match is going to really steal the show. And yeah, man, I think that we're going to keep on moving forward. And guys, if you were watching this show in hopes of some major title change, respectfully, don't watch it. Don't, because you're not going to get a major title change here. You're just not. It's Backlash, and I just feel like what you're going to get is some groundbreaking performances from superstars that you might not expected to have great performances, and you might find a new favorite wrestler out of this show. But as far as anything advancing too far, guys, they're going overseas, all right? They're going overseas, and they're going to go to France, which is a place I don't think that they've been to before, or at least in a long while. And you guys can check the research on that. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I can't remember the last time they've been to France. Guys, don't expect a lot. Don't expect a lot. Expect Expect to find maybe a new favorite breakout wrestler there. Expect maybe to see the Bloodline storyline advance in a way, like I said earlier, if you guys were listening to the show earlier. But don't expect somebody to be the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship champion. Don't expect somebody to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Guys, don't even expect the new WWE Women's Champion. If you guys are expecting that, you're gonna set yourself up for disappointment. And I don't want to set that expectation that any of that stuff is gonna happen. And you guys shouldn't either. If you guys are longtime wrestling show watchers, if you guys are longtime WWE watchers, you guys know by now Backlash is the show after WrestleMania where it's like, hey, it's going to be, there might be some WrestleMania rematches, but don't expect a whole lot of, needle-moving things to happen. So, just enjoy the show for what it is. Pay attention to what Tama Tonga is going to do. Pay attention to what Tiffany Stratton is going to do. Pay attention to the stars that you might not have thought about before that are possibly going to have great performances, and just sit back and enjoy some Saturday afternoon wrestling, because this one comes on at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Just enjoy it. Don't try to think too much into it, because you're going to disappoint yourself.
Yeah, very true. And you hit it right on the head. Don't go into this expecting big surprises and things like that. There is a surprise that you did bring up, Howse, that I'm going to expect, because it just sounds so good. And if Fatu comes at Backlash, this could be a momentum changing event for Backlash. So depending where it's at in the card, it could be a huge pop. It could be bigger than it would have been depending where it's at. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Backlash. I'm going into it really wanting to see Jade be fully immersed in an actual match that has some magnitude to it. Mm-hmm. I want to see Damian Priest put on a banger of a show, because he's defending his title, the thing he worked so hard to achieve. So that's going to be amazing. And plus Cody and AJ, no matter what they did to build up the story or what they didn't do to build up the story, AJ versus Cody is going to be amazing. And, I'm looking forward to it. Huge AJ Styles fan. But again, Cody's he's the American Nightmare. He's going to walk away with it. He's just got so much going for him right now. So much.
Yeah, man. He's got a lot going for him, and this show, it really is going to be a good show. If you guys are out there, I don't think we have any French listeners. I know we got a lot of Canadian listeners. I know we've got a few UK listeners and stuff. I don't know about French listeners, but if you guys are listening and from French, go enjoy a great show, because it's what it's going to be. It's going to be an amazing show. And if you guys are out here in the States and you guys are off on Saturday and don't have anything to do 1 o'clock in the afternoon, come on, man. It's going to be a really good show, and you guys are going to enjoy it. And man, I got to tell you, I enjoy Saturday afternoon wrestling. If I'm not doing anything, I will sit up there on the couch on a Saturday afternoon and just sit up there and enjoy this show for what it is. Once again, like I said earlier, I'm not tricking myself into thinking, Cody's going to lose the title. He's only going to have the championship for a month. I'm not tricking myself into believing any of that, you guys. No, come on, let's be more realistic than that. But what we are going to do is see some great matches. We're probably going to see some breakout performances from Tama Tonga, Tiffany Stratton, and Jade Cargill. Those are the three you guys need to really keep an eye on. And yes. I'm just going to enjoy great wrestling, because this is actually a well-constructed card that I think is going to make for some fun and for great match quality. And like I said, if Jacob Fatu shows up, there's that element as well. So a lot of different things to go into. That match of the night that you think is going to be match of the night, I'm going to have to agree with you, just because I really like the elements that is going to come in that match. But yeah, man, I think the show is going to be great, and I think it's going to be a good view, and I think it's going to give me a lot to talk about. on my solo shot, and you a lot to talk about on your Raw preview Monday, right before Monday Night Raw.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. And like we're getting in, I believe this is from Jones. They love us in France, like the Canadians love us. Well, hey, there we go. So
Canada
we're
love
loved.
us.
Yeah, they do. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've got a really good Canadian fan base. So you guys,
Yeah.
so you guys up there in Canada, we appreciate you, you hosers. We appreciate you guys coming
That's
and
fantastic.
rocking with us, man. We love you guys. We really do, man.
Well,
But man, we're gonna wrap this one up. It's been a really great episode. I got a Pacers game to watch in about 20 minutes. I'm very excited. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can close things out and move on to the semifinals of the NBA playoffs. But man, what do you got going on? Where can people catch The Voice, Josh Joseph, and everything that you got going on, bro?
all right. So tomorrow night, I have a moment with Joshua Joseph coming out. I am going to be talking to Twitch streamer Grunmeister. He is
okay.
also he's a huge wrestling fan. He's usually in our chats. I think he's at work right now. And then like House alluded to, my Monday Raw preview review show where me, co-host Bubba Duke, the Bulkster, and OMD sit down and we talk about the 3 subjects from the previous Raw that we wanted to discuss and dive in more into. And then 3 topics coming up from the Raw that we will rate out to our Canadian friends at Turnbuckle Studios up there in Canada. They do some great work. So if you're looking for a Monday watch along, they do the Raw Patrol. So go check them out. And then I'm always at In Your House. Anytime we do a Sunday, you're probably going to find me. Sunday house parties are fun. We just had the draft of our titles. Everybody's titles look really awesome. And now we just got to get some champions to put into those titles and make our roster. So looking forward to that. And you can always find me on X, Twitch, Facebook. Those are pretty much the places you'll find me. And, commenting in the comments on In Your House.
Yes, man. Yes, man. We appreciate all the work that you do here at In Your House and all the work that you do outside of In Your House to help wrestling, to help the shows that you're a part of. Jones does the same thing. He's really great about helping out so many different shows. And that's what I like about you guys, is that you guys are grinders and always working and, always putting out content and never stopping. So, it's always great. I'm glad we was able to come on here and do this Backlash preview show.
Yes.
And because it was just like, we were just like, hey, I'm home. I'm respectfully, I'm on bereavement right now. So I'm not at the job right now, and you were off from work. And I was just like, hey, let's do it. Jones has a comedy show coming up a little bit later on tonight. So good luck to you on that, bro. Hope you guys have fun and kill it like you guys do every single Thursday night. So it was just myself and Voice, and we had a really great conversation. I hope you guys out there in the household enjoyed it just as much as I did talking to my man Voice. But as far as me, you guys already know where you guys can catch me at, right here at In Your House. I'm transitioning with my handles on Twitter and on IG and stuff. No more Hollywood, guys. No more Hollywood. It was time to evolve past that. I'm originally from Los Angeles, but come on now. It's not about where you're from as much as it is about where you're at. And man, I'm in Indiana, man. I'm here in Indiana, and we just moved here to the Indianapolis area, and honestly, I am loving it. So I just felt like it was time to drop the Hollywood. I'm not a Hollywood guy. I'm an Indiana guy, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be moving forward. But I am the concept. I'm always thinking. I always got the brain working, man. And that name there is pretty much like an ode to one of my favorite managers. Not my favorite manager, but probably my second favorite manager behind Paul Heyman, and that's Bobby the Brain Heenan, who of course was known as the Brain because he was always thinking, always 2 steps ahead, and always just a great mind for the professional wrestling business. And that's what I want to be synonymous with, is being a great mind for the professional wrestling business. Somebody always thinking, the wheels are always turning. So as an ode to one of my favorite managers, what comes from the Brain? concepts come from the brain. So I just kind of pulled from that, and of course my name being Con, the concept. And so yeah, we're going with that moving forward. And of course I'll always answer to the con man. I will never not answer to the con man. I've been called that for so long, and I was trying to be like, I'll just take one or the other. Nah, I answer to both. You can call me Concept, you can call me Con Man. I'm going to answer to both, and it's just fine. But you guys can follow me at Alacon House. That's ALACON, and of course, HOWSE. Of course, that W stands for work. I got to get that in there right now. You guys know that by now, all right? You guys know that by now. But IG, Alacon House. Also on Facebook, it's Alacon The Concept House. And then on X, it's Alacon House. And hey, follow our X page. We just got a new X page, y'all. So follow us at In Your House Pod. That's In Your House Pod. And guys, you can catch me at Emerge Wrestling, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday, the 11th, for whatever may come. That's Emerge 78. And that's whatever may come. And we've already announced a lot of great matches. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, just a little recap real quick, because I know it's a lot of new information I'm throwing at you guys. Alacon House, HOWSE, that is on Twitter, X, and also on IG. And then Alacon The Concept House, that is on Facebook. And then our new X account, which we're really firing up. Guys, we already got John Cena following us. He's already hopped on the bandwagon. So what are you guys doing? If John Cena's hopped on the bandwagon, what are you guys waiting on? So come on and hop on the bandwagon, guys. And that is In Your House Pod, okay? In Your House Pod. Give us a follow. And that's HOWSE. And once again, the W stands for work. So guys, we really appreciate you coming through, talking to myself and my guy, The Voice, Josh Joseph. So for The Voice and for everybody here at In Your House, guys, I need you guys to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.